Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Khalipah Mastura binti Khalid from College Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah, and today I will be sharing my small scale research entitled COPT via Google Drive in ESL classrooms. I'm going to divide this presentation into 6 sections, namely the introduction, the literature review, methodology, findings, conclusions, and finally, the question and answer session. Dar and Khan 2015 has stated that writing is the most challenging area in learning a second language. It is based on appropriate and strategic use of language with structural accuracy and communicative potential. The initial outbreak of novel disease 2019, COVID-19, began in December 2019 from the Wuhan city of China, Sahu 2020. It has globally affected the educational institutions, and we have to move from physical to online delivery mode, stated by Guin 2020. According to the matriculation divisions, students are required to take WE 013 in semester 1. This course aims to train students to write an extended essay in groups based on the stimulus given. This project is to be conducted in groups. Each group should consist of a minimum of 3 and maximum of 4 members. Within duration of 3 weeks, they will be requested to write extended essays, which contribute 20% of the overall scores. Despite having several input and assistance given by lecturers before and during the task, students still face a lot of constraints and problems in producing the assignment given. I have divided the problem statement into 2. The first one is on the student's part, and the second one is on the lecturer's part. Since the extended essay is a group project and with only 3 contact hours per week, and the duration to complete it, which is considered very short, lecturers and students always have some problems. First and foremost, in a 3-hour teaching and learning session, students are not able to complete a lot of tasks given in order to come up with a essay writing group work, and they always complain that they do not have enough time. And the inequality of contribution and teamwork has always been another major problem where some of the students tend to be passengers. The difficulties in carrying out discussions among group members has always been another problem stated by the students. Lecturers, on the other hand, have problems assessing their work after lecture hours in terms of participation and contribution, as it is a group project. Therefore, the probability to award suitable marks for individual participation is highly questionable. Hence, this arouses an unsatisfactory feeling among the students. If some of the group members did not contribute equally and give full contribution and support to the group assigned to them. Checking and giving feedback manually on each draft printed by the students is another constraint faced by the lecturer, as the process is too time-consuming as well as wasting a lot of printed materials. The problems faced drew us to look for alternative methods of course delivery beyond the constraints of the face-to-face teacher-fronted root learning modes. So here we are, COPT, the Collaborative Online Learning Program. So first and foremost, I have introduced the student to the concept of the Google Drive application. Next, they have to create their groups and add group members. And then they have to install the applications on their mobile phone to ensure flexible usage. meaning that they don't just use their laptops or tablet, but they can also use the application in their mobile phone. Last but not least, they have to familiarize themselves with functions of the application. Now, before I proceed to the next part of the research, I would like to highlight the aims of the study. First, to investigate students' perceptions on the usage of the COPT as an intervention to improve their writing based on the aspect of, first, functionality and usability, second, peer review. Next, to investigate whether the COPT promotes a collaborative environment which is conducive in developing writing skills. Now I'm going to focus on literature review. First one on the blended learning. Krasnova and Jeff 2015 has stated that the student-centered learning approaches are a modern leading trend in the contemporary realism of education, gained their popularity due to the emphasis on the flexibility of learning by taking into account learners' individual differences in learning, their styles, learning habits, and learning pace. The student-centered learning approaches also believe in providing students with self-paced online learning opportunities along with traditional face-to-face classroom in enhancing students' learning performances in the English language. This integration of online and face-to-face is known as blended learning, which propose innovative ideas and educational practices and alter the roles to be played by the lecturer as well as students. Collaborative writing is defined as an activity in which two or more learners interact with each other throughout the writing process to jointly produce a single text. It requires mature engagement between learners, sustained peer interactions and cooperation, shared decision-making processes, and shared responsibility for the completion of the task. The current study had employed several data collection instruments to collect detailed information about the phenomena under study and to triangulate, validate, and cross-check the data obtained from the various research instruments. As such, the researchers had utilized a focus group semi-structured interview, online discussions, and observations to gather the required data for answering the research questions. The procedure starts with the introduction to the COPT, and then the researcher assigns the project to the students. They are introduced to the stages of writing, and then here at this part, scaffolding, collaborating, peer reviewing, and peer editing will take place. Observation and giving comments online will start from the first day until the end of the sessions. We are here at the findings and discussion part. Research objective number 1. To investigate students' perceptions on the usage of the COPT as an intervention to improve their writing based on the aspect of number 1, functionality and usability, and number 2, peer review. On the functionality and usability aspect, student 1 stated that it is easier editing than by hand, more natural, it is not as strict as if you just have paper at home, stated by student number 3. Student number 4, to encourage for you to write more because more people can read it. So they are giving some comments on the functionality and the usability of this intervention. All right. Next, student number 5, not to bother. I use it for lunch and I don't care if people are going to read because in one way it's going to help me. Very positive input. An exchange with experience between each other. And then student 7, he was hesitate at first. Student 8 was worried to start, and student 9 stated that a bit like extra pressure, but in a good way. Next, we move to the giving command aspect. right? So student 1 stated that it is friendlier to tell face to face than to write. Student 2, I think I can comment now. At the beginning, it was difficult because writing was not my strongest skill. But now, yeah, I can comment. Student 3, if I am more sure of my writing, I think I will be more sure to make comments for everyone. Student 4, people will trust you, means that the lecturer, more than me. That's for me as well. I'm afraid if I write something, my comment will be a mistake. So I have to be sure first before I write anything. Student 6, when I give comment, it helped me to correct my mistake as well. And so it's one way I can improve. You can see that the students are giving positive comments on the usage of COP in their writing performance, in their writing assignments, right? And as student 7, sometimes I highlighted my friend's mistake and left them comments. This was very useful for me to increase my knowledge. Student 8, I do not know what to comment actually, so I just praised them. And last but not least, student 8, I corrected and thought about it, about why it was right. So just now, we can see comments given by the students when they were giving their comments to their friends writing, right? Now we move on to the next one, which is the receiving part, yeah, when they receive comments by their friends. First one, student 1, useful and a nice experience. Student 2, I can improve my writing based on the comments given. I corrected and thought about why it was right. Student 3. Student 4 stated that sometimes they highlighted my mistakes and left me comments. This was very useful for me to increase my knowledge. I know the mistake I've made. I can change the spelling I always got wrong. Sometimes I put extra articles in it and it made me realize through the comments. Student 8, easier, quicker. And student 9, a great source of encouragement. The answer for this research objective can be found through the observation by the researcher from the beginning of the project. Key advantages of the collaborative environment that the usage of blended learning provided have already been discussed, and it can clearly be seen through the snapshot shared. As a conclusion, we can say that the program does provide students with a collaborative environment where both peers and the lecturer can help to develop an individual's writing skill. Each of the students interviewed expressed that throughout the year their writing had improved and that the approach had been interesting and resulted in them feeling more confident in writing. The program allowed them to interact with an audience and learn from it, and in turn help others to learn as well. I would like to suggest that this COP program to be expanded to the other lecturers and the other institution so that writing can take place in a better way. With that, I would like to thank you and we move on to the question and answer session. Thank you very much.